Alright, so here we are. Inspired by a recent student, I want to make a off-angle type video. We're gonna use Rialto because I enjoy a lot of the different angles on this map. How should I say? It's not going to be, or it's not, I'm not purposely making this into a learn the Rialto angles. Although that's exactly what it's going to be. This is more of a let's discuss what actually is angles and how to find them. So the idea is that when this video is over, you can go to other maps and apply what you learn here to those maps to learn angles as well. So I'm gonna preface that I'm using the cat just so we can dart around the map more quickly and change position and look around. This is also not a video about any specific hero, but we're gonna try to cover different angles meant for different types of heroes. So let's talk and I think we will address where the typical fights usually are in at least plat and lower. You know, so there's you know some typical positions where it's almost like meta where people are holding, right? Where I usually like to assist diamond and lower players, so this is probably going to be for you if you're in that rank. And I suppose people above diamond it knows what an off angle is. So we are on attack, and where do the defenders usually stand on this map? Well, here, right? So this corner right there is usually where the defenders are holding. Sometimes high ground, but very typically this corner right here. And now we are going to find angles to pressure a team trying to hold that corner. And this is, I suppose this is primarily a guide, a off-angle positioning guide for DPS. Again, we're just using the cat so we can zoom around more easily. So, your team, or at least your tank, or the core crux of your team is going to push over bridge, especially in plat and lower. And then it's the whole idea is then that oops the whole idea then is your job as a DPS is basically to take an angle on the enemy that the rest of your team is not taking, and to deny the enemy cover use. So we're pretending that the enemy is on this corner and our team is pushing up, and you know there's a shit ton of damage being traded. And if you are a ranged hero, I would if I was a ranged hero, soldier, Zenyatta, well we're talking about DPS, but Zenyatta, soldier, Ashe, Widow, you know, I would walk here. Because we just addressed that the enemy team is on this corner here, and if they are shielding or using tank abilities to stop your team from coming here, then they're not able to also cover you coming over here. And if they turn to deal with you, then they are turning their back, their side to your entire team. So what's gonna be, you know, most dangerous? A single soldier on the flank, or 4 team members barreling down the down main, right? So the idea is also then that the defenders who are standing here, at some point they are going to be hurt, you know. Reinhardt's shield breaks, Orisa is out of cooldowns, right? She's gonna be like, okay, we're gonna need a little break behind here, a little break behind here, and we're gonna heal up, wait for shield cooldown, you know, Orisa spin, whatever. But, you know, we are standing right here. So they're gonna be like, oh my god, we can't stand here. There's a fucking soldier standing right there shooting at us. This is denying them the cover use, right? So they are either gonna die or they will rotate to maybe this corner. But now they lost control of this corner, meaning that your team can push all the way up to this corner with taking minimal damage. And then when the enemy has moved to this corner, you, if you are in this position, you have to figure out, okay, now they're in this corner, my position is no longer working, right? Because now your team is coming up to this corner and you're all stacked on the same angle, which is not good for you. Now you have to figure it out. And you could potentially, you know, when your team comes a little bit closer, you could do something like this, right? So the enemy is here, defending this corner here, and the tank is here, you know, and the rest of the team is maybe here, around this area, and then, you know, you peek here and you gain access to their backline. Now, that's like the core idea of an off angle. If we take a look at the map from above, you will notice that there are 3 paths to take. We have the main path where the payload is moving, or robot, or whatever, and where your team usually moves, Then we have a left path, and we have a right path. And in, you know, I don't know, 95% of maps, there will be 3 paths for you to explore, and these will help you find angles. A few places, not many, will have 2 paths. Not the whole map, but certain choke points will be the main choke, and then one side path, one flank, not 2. But almost every time there will be 3 paths. So when you are on a map that maybe you don't know enough, maybe you haven't been to it enough, it's important for you to figure out where are these paths. But you can think, as long as you can find the core path, or the main path, it's the left path and right path will not be far away. So then we can think about what about right path, right? So if we are a medium to long range hero, then the left path would probably be a good idea. But what about like Tracer, right? Will you go here as Tracer, right? Will you go here and start fighting in this area like Tracer? No way, right? Reaper? No way. Also, by the way, you know, if you're Ashe, if you're Widow, if you're some medium range hero, this medkit will also help you keep this angle for longer, right? So we can take a look at this right path, right? What's this for? Well, let's pretend that, you know, you're Ashe, you're Cassidy, Soldier. Would you want to take this path as these heroes? Not really, because if you come here, and we're using cover, right? Cover is our friend, and we're fighting from here, and then the enemy decides to come kill you. you're gonna have a tough time getting back to safety because you have to run across this entire hall corridor with no cover until you get here. That's not good, right? Because if you're over here, if the enemy decides to push you here, we have this medkit, and then if they want to push us even more, we can do like this, and by the time they come closer, you'll be able to, you know, get back to safety, get back to your team, but not over here. Here you're gonna be a bit screwed. So this right path is more for heroes that wants to get into their backline. So a tracer would want to move here, right? A reaper, a sombra, someone who are moving here to gain access to this area here, to move around in this area here, not to stand on that corner. Maybe to go through here, you know, fight whoever is trying to stand there. Maybe move around here, yeah. Right, so a hero who wants to get access to their backline, not a ranged hero. Well, not a ranged hero yet, because let's now say that the enemy is defending here. Now this position could be a little more interesting, right? If the rest of their team is around this area, maybe they're standing here, fighting from here, you know, and then you stand over there. You don't want to get too close, but maybe, you know, an Ashe, maybe a Widow, you know, can suddenly lock down a little bit of this area here. It's not. I was actually hoping it would have a little bit more view. It's not. I don't love it. I'm gonna take back what I just said. I don't like this. Stand here. Anyways. Oh. But yes. So we use the long range heroes. Medium long range would use the left path, and more close range and disruptor heroes, flanking heroes would use the right path, right? And something like a Cassidy, a Bastion, someone with really low mobility and who prefer to be close range could actually walk with the team over bridge. You know, because so some of the heroes just dump out damage, right? So you could walk with the team, use this for cover, it's gonna heal you, and then, you know, start nuking shields, start putting out tons and tons of pressure that you don't have to flank with, you can just barrel down the middle. So, okay, so enemies here, done with that, enemies here. So then you could potentially use the right path to start at least locking down this whole area here. Right, they can't move in that area without you getting shots at them. Or you can peek here. God damn it, keep pressing buttons. You can peek here. What's a bit dangerous is that you're very close to the enemy, but again, you're also close to your own team, right? Your whole team is in this general area, so they could push you out from here by hurting you, but if they chase you, they then expose themselves to your entire team, and you're already back to your team, so it's not like super dangerous. It's more about you making the peak as good as possible, right? So you peak and you go extreme damage, extreme tons abilities, you know, damage, and then you go back. Of course, you know, or if you're a hero, if you have a bit more time, or if you have some ability, you can jump up here. This one this is quite a lot of pressure, right? If you're now up here, and the enemy is holding down here, you know, standing up here, you have this entire place locked down. You can peek over the side like this, yeah. Where's the next position where they like to fight? This next one is this corner. So now we take a look at the left angle. That would be something like this, right? So if the tank is holding this corner, then the rest of his team will be this area, so you will gain access to that. Let's look at the right path. That would be something like this, right? We're moving here. This is pretty good, because this tank would then be... he will be shielding in this direction, and then you're right there, right? It will be hard to keep track of both sides. And of course we could go through here and up here and try to find some kind of angle from here. No, maybe here, right? If he's holding that corner, then the rest of the team is further back. If you're up here, maybe you can get some cheeky stuff done here. It's probably not too easy to make it to this place without getting shot to shit. But we could also just go here, right? Then of course, if you're something like a Cassidy, this will be too dangerous, right? Because they could turn and you could be like, shit, I need to get out of here, and then you have to walk this entire stretch like this. That would be too dangerous. But what if you're a hero that doesn't have to escape this way? What if you're Reaper, right? So you peek here, boom, 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 oh shit, I'm in trouble. Fade back to your team, then teleport up there, drop down, whatever. Then where's the next popular position to try to hold? It's usually in this area right here, maybe there, but usually they're standing here, or of course up here. Then I would say we have this angle right here, you have a medkit here. If you pay attention, then Blizzard knows that this is an angle. That's why they put the medkit here, to help you hold this angle for longer, making it so support, you can stand here without the help of support. Imagine if you're Hanzo and you have the perk that lets you hack medkits, you know, you hack this and you stand here and you pick up this medkit every 10 seconds instead of every, I don't know, what's the cooldown on this, I can't remember. No, it's 10 seconds. And its hack takes it down to like fucking 2.5 seconds or something. You know, you stand here, pick up this, shoot, pick up this, shoot. How the hell are they gonna come and kill you from all the way over there? They're not. The only way you're gonna die is, you know, if a Hanzo or Widow shoots you back, and you know, you're using cover, medkits, yeah. And of course we have this position, but I wouldn't recommend standing here, because now you're directly aligned with your team. So I would go all the way over here and to just try to create a little bit of an angle at least. Or of course over there, you know. What about here maybe? No, really poor. Can't really see anything. Nope. They like to stand in this corner. What do we do then? What's our left angle? There's not really a left angle. Like going here is too close. Can you see something from here? Yeah. But it's not really an angle because we're shielding this way. If your team is up, coming across bridge and they're pushing up like this, then the enemy has to shield this way, and then if you're standing here, you can shoot across like this. I don't love it. We can take a look at something on the right. No, from here. If the enemy tank is standing on that corner, then the rest of his team is probably in this general area. So being up here would be super good. Then the next position they usually stand is this corner. So now let's think. We're on main right now. Let's look at left path. Left path would take you up here, right? We're here. This is really tight. That's not ideal. But what about, you know, something like this? Trying to squeeze some damage above there, or if you feel, you know, here. If you're more close range hero, you can try this. Again, this is a bit dangerous. This is where you again swing and you go max damage, max abilities, try to do something, get something done, and then you can dip back in. And if they chase you, you can dip down here. There's a medkit there. Your team is right here. If we win this corner, we probably... If we win this corner, they're usually holding maybe there. Now we can look at the left. Here's another medkit, because they know that you would maybe want to operate in this area. Or we could come from here. Come from here, peek from here. Now, where's the next corner where they like to stand? Maybe here. So let's think about positioning, right? Maybe your tank pushes up the middle and then you peek here at the same time. Catch some people off guard here. Control this. Start peeking here. And while you are, trying to take an angle, the enemy DPS is if they're good enough at the game or have good ideas, they will try to take an angle. And what if you face an enemy DPS trying to take an angle on your team, right? So you're thinking, okay, I want to try to take this angle, come up here and fight from this side. But then the enemy DPS has the same idea. He wants to go down here and hit your team from the side. Then you have to figure out how to best kill or pressure out the enemy DPS so you can use that angle. And if you lose that duel, it's a skill issue and you need to get better at the game because before you're allowed to rank up, basically. So then now they really like to stand on that corner. You could go up here like this. So it's really about flanking, but don't push it too far unless you are a hero that can operate in their backline by yourself, right? So you can play in this general area right here, maybe a little bit up, a little bit down. If as soon as you peek here, your healers can heal you and you can go back and go out again. But if you're, Tracer, Sombra, Reaper, someone who can survive a little bit more in their backline, you can push all the way behind like this, right? Like this. Come here. So you have to think about, do you have self-healing? Do you have super high mobility to run around and picking up medkits? Yes, then you can go really deep on the flank. If not, then you should only go as much as you can see the angle if you want. So look, only push up as much as you can see around their corner and then stop, or around the cover, right? So a good place, some place they like to hold this like here, right? We can try something like this. We can move through here. Start peeking here, start peeking here, go through here. This is what you have to do as DPS at all times. And they have to figure out what off angle is best for your hero, right? You have to learn that, learn the maps and learn, okay, I'm Hanzo, so I want on Rialto, first point, I want, or first fight, I want left off angle, right? Or I'm Tracer, so I want to run over the right off angle and start getting into the backline, start messing up, running around like this. That's something you have to think about all the time. Try to spend as little time as possible with your team and start moving out. if, let's pretend that your team actually, for some reason, walks up here, your tank and the crux of your team actually takes this left path, then if you also take that left path, even if you're Hanzo, then that's no longer the off angle, right? Because now you want to split. So if your team walks down the middle, then this is the off angle and this is the off angle. And if your team is actually moving here, then this becomes the off angle, or this becomes the off angle, right? But not this one, because so you can't always be like, oh, I'm on Hollywood, the off angle is always here. No, you know, the off angle changes based on where the enemy team is positioned, and it changes based on where your team is positioned. So when you are coming out and you approach the fight, let's see, where am I? Where's my main? You know, when I'm playing Ashe, when I'm coming out of spawn, maybe the fight is already happening or it's about to happen, right? I come out and I'll be like, quickly just checking, where are they? Okay, they're on that corner right there. Then I know, and I can see, and I, you know, I can see my team start pushing the payload. You know, then I know that the off angle will be here, like this, right?
Here it comes.
Picking up medkit, and my team is right there, so I can also, you know, get healing from here. If I'm Cassidy, then the off angle could be actually literally just be here, right? Enemy tank is trying to hold there, shooting through here to hit them from the side like that. Or my personal favorite is actually to jump across here, over there. And if they're fighting right underneath me, I'll do like this. Right. And they're standing here and go, oh my god, if they look up, your entire team just blows them apart, right? They can't stand like this, trying to deal with you, while your entire team is coming up the middle. Alright. I'm rambling. We're not gonna cover everything, but this is how you find off angles. Three lanes. Where's the enemy? What lane is the enemy on? What lane is your team trying to push on? Then split off and try one of the other lanes. Alright. Toodaloo.